So what is happening, people? So I'm gonna start this video with this. Thank you guys so much for the response. I asked about finding the big-eyed jigs and got overwhelming response. Thank you for all the comments that you give, places that you can find those. Hey, that's good for everybody to know. When you comment in the comments below, that helps anybody that watches the video that may be interested in those big-eyed jigs. Big shout out to Ron Johnson. He actually called me on the phone from Ohio, and that got me to thinking. He was telling me they may even ice fish up there. So all around the country, people crappie fishing do it in different ways of fishing. And so I'm sure that the way I'm gonna be fishing today here, and water temperature's 57 degrees, so I'm gonna fish a little different, say, than somebody in the southern part of Alabama. And therefore somebody who is in, say, northern Pennsylvania will be fishing for crappie different. So comment below on the video of your favorite way to fish during the month of December. And I may do this for each month coming along. And that gives anyone watching the video and wants to look at the comments below how you actually fishing in your area. And maybe you can even put mid-state Kentucky or whatever. And how you're actually catching crappie in the wintertime. And we'll just kind of share that information out there. Hey, YouTube is a community. All right, guys, hey, I'm gonna go find me some fish. The water temperature is 57. I haven't been here in about 6 weeks, and so I gotta just start looking for these fish. I'm sure they've done some transitioning from out of the fall, so I'm gonna look around and see if I can find them. Hey, and let's go catch a fish. Okay, folks, y'all see the buoy marker out here. There's a hump under the water here, and there's a stack of fish sitting on that hump. They're right up on top of the hump. So we're gonna get right over top of them and see if we can catch us a crappie. There he is. Good crappie. That slab right there. Good gracious alive. Nice crappie. Nice old crappie. Come on up here, Mr. Slab Daddy. Good crappie right there. Good crappie, y'all. Now, I'm gonna show y'all the fish on this hump. Now, a lot of times, it's got a bad shadow on it, y'all. A lot of times when you see fish on a hump like that, see, here's a hump right here. A lot of times when you see fish, all those are fish. When you see fish up on a hump like that, a lot of times they are feeding. Now, we're fishing with the, I still got that, just that white hair jig on there. I mean, it was already tied on and it has produced some fish, so that's why I just put it on. So we're gonna ease back over here on this hump. Now, actually that buoy marker is on the other side of that hump. So we're just going, and we're actually in the fish now. It's a lot of fish up on this hump. So we're gonna drop down in there and see if we can, boom, just like that right there. There's another one. Another old crappie. Good crappie. Great water temperature. And I tell you, the wind's got us, the way the wind's got us drifting, I'm gonna just let that lure right down in there on top of this hump, and I'm gonna just let the wind just ease me across I'm not gonna get real excited. Boom, there's another one right there. A little bit smaller. And about like them crappies we was catching the other day. I'm gonna just spin the boat around. Now you have to be careful moving. These fish up here are shallow, very shallow, and you got to be careful because you will spook these fish. And like I said, there's a lot of fish on this hump right up underneath the water here. I'll tell you what, let's switch over. I'll switch over to that big-eyed jig just for curiosity's sake. And it's a little bit heavier too, so I get down a little bit quicker. Boom. It didn't take long, did it, y'all? That's another good crappie. I'll take them. Good crappie. That's that ACC big-eyed crappie head there. Did what it was supposed to, didn't it? Boom. Oh, I think we in them now, y'all. I done found them. That's a good crappie right there, y'all. See that crappie? It's a good crappie. Boom. Good crappie. It's a good crappie, y'all. Didn't take it. Boom. We bumped that thing. It's a good crappie. Another good crappie, y'all. Another good crappie. He's cutting up, ain't he? Good crappie. Boom. Okay. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna switch to. I'm gonna switch. That is the Ghost and the Kalin's curly tail, chartreuse tail. This water's got some dents to it, and you know I love a redhead. When a shad gets stressed, you know the end of his nose will turn red, and so you know I think that's an indicator. I try to use a bait that is as natural colored as possible, and since I've got some color in this water, I think I can get by. That's why I chose that chartreuse, maybe to show up a little better. And so these fish are as much as 10 feet shallow. And so I think I can cast to these fish. And I put an 1/8 on. I think I might be able to cast to them and actually catch them. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna count that down. That's about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That should be definitely 10 feet deep. And not sure if they'll hit it moving. Hey, we'll see. We're just moving along slow and see what happens. Now a lot of times when you're out here fishing and you know you play with colors, different water clarity, different colors show up a little better, and nothing wrong with changing colors. Never get stuck on just one color or one lure, and you know be willing to change your method. I'm a firm boom. There he is right there. And that's a good crappie. Right there. Now that's a good crappie. Good crappie right there. Now see, he hit that red. I pitched out over top of that hump and was just letting it free fall down into the strike zone. When he hit at it, he missed it. You know, when I throw that line out there, that's 6 pound test line, 1/8 ounce jig, and I count that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's about 10 feet, and then I'm gonna start it back. Now, if I've got a little bit of wind blowing that lure, or blowing the line, that lure may not sink quite as fast. I may need to give it a little additional line. All right, here's my buoy. The main part of the hump is right over here. Looks like about 20 feet. I'm gonna cast out about 30, and I'm gonna let that lure sink. 1, 3, 4, 10. I'm gonna start that lure back slow. I should be somewhere around 10 feet. As long as I'm just above them, I'm okay with it. And see, basically that lure is just floating through the water. It's very natural. So my boat's moving, the lines move, the wind's got the line moving, so that lure is just basically floating through the water. And hopefully, I think that got on the bottom just a little bit. Hopefully, boom, it gets bit. The thing just floating along as natural as it possibly can. Looks like an injured shad. And then boom, you get bit. Now sometimes, as you're fishing, boom. You know, sometimes they like that curly tail. And I got some fish right up under the boat. Hold on a minute. Another good crappie right there, y'all. Good quality crappie. I noticed some crappies right up under the boat. I said, well, let me just drop straight down to them, vertical jigging. Now, you know, you always think vertical jigging, straight tail jig or something like that, but you know, sometimes vertical jigging with a curly tail jig works too. Hear me? So I'm going down the lake right now, and I'm looking for where these two creek channels meet. Right there. And I'm going to check it out and see what's under the water. It may be filled in, but when you come into wintertime, and most of your lakes have these creek channels marked. It's marked here in kind of a purple color. And if I zoom in, we might be able to see it. Let's see. Let me zoom on in. See where these two creek channels come together? That's kind of what I'm looking for. That is a good place. And humps out in the middle of the lake. That is actually what those crappie were on. And I tell you what I'm gonna do after I look for that. I'm gonna ride this creek channel all the way up here. I haven't done it in quite a few years, not with this new electronics. And I'm gonna ride that creek channel all the way up to this opening here, just to look at it and see if I can find some more crappies. So I was looking around this creek channel, right out here in front of this thing right here. That's a huge school of crappie. I hung two of them. I'm going back over here and get my buoy. We're gonna let these fish rest over here. We done caught some good fish off of this hump. And I wanted to do some looking around today with this LiveScope. And down the lake, there are two creek channels that come together. And I definitely want to check that out before I go. And but anyway, right behind me, right out here in this bowl, right off this lip of this drop off, there's a big pile of crappie. I need to check that out. That looks exciting. So I'm gonna go over here and get my buoy marker, and I'm gonna come back over here. So we're gonna check that out and see if we could get bit. Boom, boom. Got bit as soon as it went down. That joker is cutting up too, boy, on that 10-foot rod. Good gracious of life. Look what a slab, y'all. Mercy, mercy me. What a slab. Boom. Good fish. Good fish. Good crappie. Now, I'll tell you about this ACC crappie stick. Now, I will give it its props. It's 10 feet long. You get a good sized crappie on. It's got enough backbone. You can lift him right up in the boat. There he is right there. He bit so soft I didn't even feel him bite. He just bit just as soft. And sometimes they like it. Sometimes they hit kind of soft. He's a good crappie. I tell you what, I'm gonna turn him back. He's about 9.5, 9 3/4. Now I'm gonna try something. You see this? I took this off a few minutes ago, just because it wasn't being productive. But these crappie right here are hitting. These rascals are hitting at a lure. So since that thing's got a little bit of a treble hook on it, we'll see if boom, they hit at it. Boom. See, now that's one thing that you have to notice, and that's a good crappie right there. And that's one thing you have to pay attention to. Now, the hair jig, they were bumping it and not eating it. Same way with the rubber jig. I mean, they were hitting at it. So when they're hitting at it and you're not hooking them, why not try something with that treble hook on it? Because that's like a reaction strike, if you would. You know what I mean? Boy, he knocked the stuffings out of that. Didn't hang himself, though. Boom. Oh, they hitting that jigging spoon pretty darn good, too. That's a good crappie. Well, he ain't as big as I thought he would be. I keep fishing this treble hook. I'm gonna have to get my pliers out, y'all. A little crappie. A little crappie. That fish, I mean, as soon as it went down, boom, he was there. And he is a good crappie. That's a good crappie. And see, they getting hung in the bottom lip because they're going down to get it. This is, I don't have to fish as shallow as I am. And I'm gonna have to get my pliers, y'all. So this is what I found out. Water's about 60, 62 degrees now. When I went up one of the creeks, it dropped down to about 58 degrees. So because Hyco has a power plant, that main part of the lake is surprisingly still at 60, 62 degrees. And most of the crappie were 12 to 15 foot deep. Most of the crappie today were sitting right up on humps. I found that one hump out in the lake, deep creek channel right beside of it. They were sitting up on top of that hump. That told me they were feeding. And back in a cove, I found one spot back in a cove. So the cove basically is shaped like this in the bowl. Right where it come out of the creek channel on that lip, there was a huge school of crappie there. Actually, it wound up being 2 schools. Let me bump the boat back out. And those crappie, that big school of crappie, once I got on them, caught 2 or 3 fish, I had to chase them around that cove. They moved probably in a 50 or 60 yard square area. I'd catch a few and they would move, just because they were like 10 to 14 feet deep. And there was some good crappies in there. And so if you come to the lake, it's December. So I'm gonna get these fish. I'm pretty sure I got my limit or right at it. And got some nice crappies. I lay those out on the table and take a picture of it. Caught some really nice crappie, and I caught a lot of fish today. So, hey guys, don't forget to click that subscribe button below, click the like button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss an episode of Wildlife Adventures. Hey guys, you remember, it's a wildlife, and I'll see you on the